Hey folks, thanks for tuning in and checking out my video. Today I'm going to go over some items that I took with me on a 4-day, 3-night Pathfinder advanced class in Florida Everglades in October of 2011. I went as an assistant instructor on this trip, so I'm going to have a few things laid out here or in this pack that the students didn't have that we had as instructors to either be as a teaching aid or to help take care of the students. So let's see, first we'll start with what I had on me. Had just a pair of Columbia hiking boots. There's nothing special about them. They're not waterproof or anything. I was wearing a leather belt. When I wasn't wearing a cap, I was wearing a buff head cover. Had some ex officio drawers on. Set of wool socks. Sorry, I was knocking a little gecko that was hanging out on my clothes. Had a boonie cover. This one's made by True Spec. Multicam, doesn't matter. I didn't care what the color was as long as it wasn't dark. It was keep the sun off my head. Had a pair of LL Bean pants. I think they're Trailblazer or something like that. I don't know. They don't zip off. The only thing they have is a zip on the bottom of the pant leg. There's no cargo pockets or anything on it. And then polyester Under Armour long sleeve shirt. So that's what I had for clothing on me. When I wasn't carrying the bag around, or I should say the backpack, I had a haversack. This is one of Dave's Pathfinder haversacks, just missing the logo. I think I picked this one up from Rob over at canteenshop.com. It's a little different that aside from missing the logo, I also shortened it maybe about 4 or 5 inches. I just didn't need that much space, and I felt that it rubbed on my hip being that long. So I did like the length of the strap. I just thought the bag was a little too large, so I shortened it down a little bit. Had a Guyot Nalgene canteen 1 liter with I think these are called Human Gear cap. I just prefer to drink out of this versus the large ring. Mind you, everything that's in this bag right here I either had in the pack or in my pockets or around my neck or something like that. Had a Princeton Tech quad headlamp, a spot locator, had a little plastic bag with some administrative stuff in it, mosquito head net that we didn't really need to use, pencil and sharpener, notebook, protractor for navigation, my little survivor cards that I always carry with me, notes from the land nav course. Got all my plots out there, plus a basic map of the area. A couple family photos. Bag. Had my compass. This one's an MC2 from Sunto with some pace count beads. Let's keep on digging in here. Some iodine for first aid and for water purification. My E-Trek Garmin GPS. Little Vectronox, I think this one's called the Farmer or the Bushcrafter. I think this one's the Farmer. Got this one from Swiss Boss. The thing that's special about this, you'll notice on the side here, it's got a steel for striking against flint or something like that to get a spark. This I always had around my neck. Safety whistle and a Princeton Tech clips. An SA fire starter. These have a compass in them. I have some tinder on the inside of it. I'll do a review on this on another video. My Baco Laplander folding saw. Little disposable lighter. And actually one thing that I don't have here, that's not out here with me on the table, that I did have with me was my Becker BK2. I had it in a Nix leather sheath. I showed that in another video. I've got that stashed away somewhere else. For a large cutting tool for students that had, they had a choice of 2 cutting tools. Some of them did, took a machete and a fixed blade. Some took a small blade and a multi-tool. All the different mixtures of tools. So I kind of tried to bring one of each. This is a Bark River Golok for a large cutting tool. If a student needed to borrow this, I'd let them use this. I had the BK2, the Laplander, and the multi-tool of Farmer. So now we'll get into the pack. We'll start with the outside pocket. For all the students and the instructors, I try to let everybody know in this center pocket is my first aid kit, and I had it marked with bright orange tape on the outside. Inside I got a waterproof bag. Components of the kit, I actually got to restock it. Got used quite a bit during the exercise. People, little lacerations in the fingers, splinters. One guy got burned. A Saul's bite sting kit in case we had an issue where somebody got stung or bit, with some latex gloves. And a signal flare pin with 3 flares. Outside pocket here, I had the canteen. Now the students were only allowed to bring 1 container, or at least 1 canteen. I brought 2 so I could always keep fresh water. One was either purified or in the process of being purified, and the other one was full of fresh water. That way if I had to wash somebody's hands or clean a wound or just hydrate somebody that got dehydrated, I always had spare water. Little C-line pouch that I kept my cell phone and my wallet in to keep it dry. If you watch Dave's video, part of the exercise was there was a scenario where vessels capsized, they had the canoes, and they rolled them and got all their gear all wet. I didn't have to dunk all my gear, but if I had to, everything was waterproofed. Drum liners and some plastic bags, leather gloves, some flavoring for some water. This is just some Gatorade G2. I also kept a couple snacks in case we had somebody that had low sugar or something like that. And I could give that to them real quick. The instructors didn't have the requirement to not eat any food. They didn't have to go to food preparation, but the 3 assistant instructors that were there, Mickey Grossman, Scott Barron, and myself, we only ate when the students ate. So for the most part, we only ate what they were eating. We did give them a portion of rice once we showed them how to cook rice in primitive containers. There was a hog that was slaughtered out there, so everybody pretty much ate well that night that they had the hog. One thing that instructors were allowed that students weren't was bug spray. I think there was a few people that kind of borrowed that when I wasn't looking. Going on to the inside of the pack. This is just an Army rucksack, an Alice pack without the frame. I don't like wearing the frame, I'm more comfortable without it. Had this thing since, I don't know, the mid-'80s, so it's got quite a few years on it. I carry it with me all the time in the Corps. For my shelter, most everybody opted to have a hammock and a tarp for when they were allowed to use shelter until they had to build a primitive shelter. For me, I had what is this? A Slumberjack one-man bivvy. It actually, it's like a little bitty one-man tent with 2 support poles and 2 ground stakes. For ground insulation, Thermarest inflatable mat. Kept everything waterproof in a C-line bag. Oh, and also in that pack, I had 2 emergency space pockets. One OD, it's kind of got some use out of it, and a brand new orange one. Out of the items I took out there and was using, this C-line 20-liter bag failed me. This is not one of the PVC ones. This is one of the harder nylon ones that's wax or something like that. I don't know what they do to impregnate it. But you can see right here that the bottom seams failed on me. This bag is a good 15 years old, so it's had some use. I'm going to contact C-Line and see if they'll just chalk it up to wear and tear, or if they'll send me a new one. My mess kit with the poncho on the inside of it. Done a review on that already. Hygiene items. Nothing real special in here. Some toilet paper in case nature calls. Some wipes to clean up. Some sunscreen. Some soap. Now this is one thing that I teach in my classes that you won't see a lot of survival instructors teach, and that's to take some soap with you. And you know what? I'll go over that in another video, talking about some of the, if I had 10 essential items that I would take, this would be one of them, and I'll explain why in another video. Some foot powder, toothbrush, and toothpaste. Little bag that I have it in. little surprise kit. This had some training materials in it. I'm not going to go into this. If you want to see what's in there, you got to come to one of the classes. My water filter, this one's made by Pure, or was made by Pure. I don't think Pure is around anymore. This filter is quite old. It finally failed on me. Had the same filter in it for years, and it clogged up. I don't know if it was all the particles in the Everglades water, or if it's just the time for the filter to wear out. I've come home and I PM'd it, and it's working again. So take it out there again and see if it clogs up, if it's going to be the water, or if it's just the filter worn out. Another surprise kit. You got to come to the training class to see what's in it. Cordage. Here's the orange safety tape that I had on the outside of the center bag to mark it as a first aid bag. Boy, I'm getting tongue-tied. And we use this to set up the land amp course. Shank of 550 cord, spool of bank line, 1-inch duct tape or gorilla tape, and then a bunch of loose shanks or rolled up bundles of cordage, 550 cord, bank line, jute was used in the class. What else we got here? That's it for the dry bag. Then I had a secondary dry bag on the inside with a couple items for around camp. Had a pair of sea-lined skin socks, what are they called? Sealskins, I'm sorry, sealskins socks for when I want to take the wet socks off and have something to walk around in camp that was dry. Actually, I have another pair of socks in here that I would put on that was dry to wear underneath the sealskin. Beanie cap in case it got cold. Wet weather gear that I didn't even bother putting on when it rained. And a fleece in case it got cold. So there you have it, everything that I took out in the Everglades for 4 days and 3 nights. It was a very successful class. We had 18 students with 4 instructors, or I should say Dave Canterbury is the lead instructor and 3 assistant instructors. Got 2 more classes on the schedule right now that I understand. Dave is set for a basic class in February of 2012 and another advanced class in March of 2012. So check on to the website Pathfinder School LLC, I think, something like that, pathfinderschool.com, and check it out. If you're interested in taking the course, sign up. I have a feeling it's probably going to book up pretty quick. Dave is trying to get a full-time school set up down here with Scott Barron and myself working with it. So we'll see how that goes. Well, that's it. Thanks for tuning in and watching this video. Be safe out there and enjoy your adventures.